Hello, welcome to your yoga practice. We'll be keeping things pretty therapeutic today. So you may want a blanket with you, you may want a block. And if you can, set up toward a wall today. So short edge of the mat toward the wall. We don't need to get there quite yet, but if you can set yourself up there, that'll be super fantastic. And then once you've got yourself all situated, we'll start in a prone position. So coming down onto the belly, untuck your toes, and make sure that you're far enough away from the wall that your feet aren't touching, or if you're facing the other way, so that you could reach your arms out in front and your fingers won't touch the wall. So just make sure you've got some space. Then just stack your hands and let your forehead rest down. Feel your breath expand all the way down to your belly. And as you exhale, feel your hips sink a little heavier. Notice the balance of weight across the front of your hips and shoulders. And on your next breath in, gaze forward as you let your head float off the mat, and extend your arms so your fingers are reaching ahead of your shoulders. So you want your elbow creases to be facing one another here. Your head is still lifted, but keep things, not strained. Your shoulders are away from the ears, so you're not shrugging your shoulders. So though you are reaching forward, you're not scrunching all your muscles up. Let's create a little bit more space. Maybe you find a little lift through your chest, just a tiny bit. Your front ribs are still down. Just breathe in and breathe out. Look at the space between your thumbs. See if you can breathe deeply here. Notice the expansiveness of your breath as you fill your belly. You notice that your lungs get wider, and you can even start to feel your breath in the back side of your body. As you exhale, just imagine your tailbone starting to draw down to the ground. So it's nothing that you're doing really like forcibly. Just think of your tailbone, imagine it moving down to the ground. And notice the space that is created through the lower back and through the back of your hips. Notice the neutral positioning of your pelvis. And now bring the hands to grab onto opposite triceps or opposite wrists if triceps feels like a bit much. Your head is still lifted. Now get active through your legs. You continue to feel your tailbone drop to the ground. Notice the strength in your legs, and then float your arms up and hold here. Think of the forearms moving toward the crown of the head. Keep the shoulder blades moving downward. Think of your shoulder blades moving toward the hips. And then nice and easy, lower your arms and relax your head all the way down. Let your hips soften. Breathe in and out. Extend your arms forward again, lifting your head up just enough so you can continue to gaze forward. Shoulder blades, really focus on them pulling downward on your back, and remember, draw your tailbone down. So you'll notice the front of your hips really press into the ground. Become active through your legs. And maybe your chest floats up a little more. Think of your tailbone moving to the ground. And then slowly slide your elbows in a bit and grab onto opposite triceps, opposite elbows, whatever you can with ease. You're still strong in your legs. Breathe in. And breathe out. Super strong through the legs. Arms float up. Elbows reach up. Keep thinking of your tail moving down. Shoulder blades pulling down. Breathe. Release. Let the elbows come down. This time slide them in underneath your shoulders. Let your palms come down. Get tall through the upper body, still strong in the lower body, in a Sphinx pose here. Notice the weight across the front of the hips. Drag your tailbone down to the ground. Notice the little adjustments that take place in your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. Nice and easy. Stack your hands, open your elbows, let your forehead rest down. Full breath in and full breath out. And remember, it doesn't matter how deeply you go into this, it's more about strengthening the back line of the body. So often we're focused on the front line, but we totally forget about the whole backside. Extend the fingers forward one more time here. Hands we're looking forward to the hands. Head is lifted. And your chest is lifted just a little bit. And notice all the space that you've created in your body from going step by step through these actions. Tailbone pushes toward the ground. Just imagine it dropping down. Shoulders float up. Your hands might drag in just a little bit. Your legs are strong. Grab on opposite elbows. Your elbows are on the ground. Continue to think of your tailbone moving toward the earth and keeping your legs active. Float the elbows up and just notice the space. Think of your shoulder blades moving down. Tail moves down. You've got this. Breathe. Good. Keep the tail dragging down, stay strong. Release the hands now, slide them onto the mat back in line with your elbows. Strong lower body. Float your sternum forward and up, just a tiny bit of weight in the hands. Still a ton of strength in the legs. Drag your tailbone to the earth. Closer, 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 and hold at your edge. Keep the elbows drawing back and in. Your chest is open. Your legs are so strong here. Breathe in and out of the nose. And on your next exhale, slowly relax all the way down. Rest on your left cheek and let your arms come down by your sides. Breathe in and out here and just rock the hips side to side. Just shake out any stuff that might be trying to stick in the back of the hips or even in the hip flexors. So you're just rocking your hips side to side. And come to stillness. And rest on your right cheek. Look the other way. Tuck your toes. And swipe your heels side to side. So you get the rocking sensation again, but this time you have your entire leg involved, or legs involved. And come all the way to stillness. Untuck your toes. Bring your forehead to the mat. Chin pulls toward the throat. And place your palms onto your lower back, thumbs out, fingers down toward the hips or the glutes. Feel your elbows draw toward each other. It's not going to be the hugest movement. The tops of your legs press down, drag your tailbone toward the mat, and float your head and chest up. Shift your gaze slightly forward or even down is fine as well. Just find the lengthening action in your spine. Now bend your knees here, bringing the toes to the ceiling as your thighs lift off the ground. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, one more breath in. Press your hands into your hips. And breath out, slowly undo, let your forehead come down, arms relax by the sides, legs come all the way down. Strong legs, inhale. Head and chest start to float up, hands come to the lower back. Draw your elbows together, press the hands down. Bend the knees, thighs float away from the mat. Hands press down a little deeper. Option to stay or reach the hands back for the ankles. Big toes can touch, toes pull away. We lengthen the arms, you're hanging onto your ankles. Use your legs to open the front of your body. Your toes can reach for the ceiling. Your tailbone is still working to the ground. And nice and easy, release. Forehead comes down again, arms by the sides. One more time. fluid through the motions. Inhale, upper body starts to float up, hands to the lower back. Open your heart. Exhale, knees bend, toes reach up. Find squeeze in the glutes. Inhale, maybe hands reach for ankles, big toes touch, arms are straight. Exhale, toes reach up and back. Tail reaches to the earth. Breathe in and out. Feel your chest open. And take your time. Lower down. Release your hands to the mat under your shoulders. Cinch your elbows into your waistline. Press chest up. Cobra. And shift back to child's pose. But go slow in your child's pose. Walk your hands in so that you can support your chest upward so you're not fully folded forward at first. And as you start to feel settled, let your elbows come down. Stack your hands and let your forehead rest. Breathe in and out of the nose here. And think about breathing into the whole back of your body. So each inhale is expanding your lungs, expanding the whole space that you can find to breathe into in the back of your body, even the lower back. Beautiful. Breath in. Let's extend through the arms, reaching hands forward so we can come up into tabletop pose. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Just give your hips a little wiggle for a moment, side to side. And then come into stillness. Let's move through cat pose, arch the back up, create space between shoulder blades as you anchor in through index knuckle and thumb knuckles. And then just inhale to table pose, so not going into your cow yet, so stick with your table pose. And then look over the right shoulder, find your tail over there, slide your hips gently to the right, and then come to center, slide your hips to the left, look over your left shoulder, find your tail, back to the right, and left. One more time, right, and left. And we'll come to center. Dip the belly down in a cow pose. Stay strong through your arms and really just think of letting your belly button get heavy. And then exhale. Think of your tail moving toward the earth and let your upper back round. Really feel your navel pull up and in. And come to neutral spine as you lay the elbows down on the mat below the shoulders. Palms are flat down. Just double check that you've got the ability to grab opposite triceps so that your elbows are indeed under the shoulders. But your palms stay flat otherwise ahead of you, ahead of the elbows. On the exhale, round the back here in a cat pose with forearms on the mat. And find your neutral spine, gazing just ahead of the fingertips. Look over your right shoulder, find your tail over to the right, and center, and left. Find your tail to the left, and center, to the right, center, to the left, center. One more time to the right. Enjoy the space in the outer hip, and to the left, center, and find cow pose here. So really feel the heaviness of your belly. There's an action like your sit bones are reaching for the sky. Your shoulder blades are pulling downward. And nice and easy, neutral spine. Tuck the toes, downward dog, knees and hips lift up, or dolphin pose rather, sorry. Your elbows are still down. Full breath in, lift your hips. Feel your big toes press down. Think of your hips stacking over your shoulders. And take your time, lower the knees all the way down. Untuck your toes, and then we'll roll up to a seated position on the shins. All right. So there's a little strength for the back. Let's move deeper into our hips. You'll probably want your block here. We're moving into supported heroes pose to start. So you could use 2 blocks if you need. I suggest to start with more support than it feels like you need. So for me, I'm going to start on the medium setting. The block is right underneath my hips, so I can feel my weight sliding down into the block. Also, my hands can slide down my outer hips and just fit between my foot and my outer hip. So make sure you're not sitting on your feet or that you're not lining yourself up to sit on your feet. Soles of feet face the ceiling. Hands rest on the thighs. And we just pause here. But pay attention to the balance of weight between the sides. Notice the weight across your shoulders and into your chest. And feel your sternum start to lift to the ceiling a little bit more. Now with that, feel your belly draw inward, so your abdomen feels nice and knit together, so you feel some strength here. Now as you feel that strength and that lift of your chest, start to hinge your weight forward as you press your hands into your thighs. Keep your abs strong. Chest forward, hips float away from the block. Keep all of that inner awareness. Hands are pressing into your thighs, navel draws in, elbows pull in, chest is forward, hips pull back. Voila, we land right back down onto our block. Do it again. Think of the smoothness of the movement, not how fast you go. The mechanics, the chest pulls forward, hands press down, chest lifts up. So follow the strategy. Chest pulls forward, hands push down, bum pushes back, and down onto the block. One more time. Chest pulls forward. You notice as you come up, all of these mechanics are obvious when we slow down. But when we go too fast, it's really easy to miss all the little spaces of integration. And then what happens? Well, empty spaces. And what happens in there? Well, all kinds of stuff can happen. Magic can happen, but injury can happen as well. So Settle in here. Of course, you might need to readjust your block a tiny bit, but overall, continue to settle into stillness in your supported hero's pose. And just take an easy little side bend to the right. So let your head gently come to the right. Feel your right shoulder drop a little bit. And then just come back to center. And with ease, just kind of drop to the left a little. And then we'll come up to center. Bring the arms out like a cactus. Pull the chest open. Keep your pelvis neutral here. And then hug your arms around you as you come forward. Wrap your hands around the shoulders and let your upper body relax forward. Then we'll inhale to come up. Open the arms again like a cactus. Open your chest. And we'll hug opposite arm on top. Relaxing upper body. And slowly release the arms. Now you can stay right here. If it's available though, we'll lower the block one setting. So what do? Chest comes forward, hands push down, hips lift. We're strong here. We reach back, adjust the block down, hands return to thighs, chest is already forward, and we sit our way back down. We hang out here. Of course, you may decide that this is a bit much and you go back to having your block up a little bit higher. That's totally fine. The more you practice, the more you'll get comfortable in the spaces of simply being where you are. Now, keeping your hips neutral, slide your right arm behind your back. Slide the fingers around the outer left hip somewhere. And your left hand to the outer right thigh, and just take a nice easy twist to the right. You could look over your right shoulder. And then come back to center. Plant the left palm on your right palm and lean your left ear to your left shoulder. So your left elbow is out to the side. Palms are in prayer, essentially outside your left hip. Nice big stretch for the right side of the neck. You could look down to the ground and up to the ceiling, down to the ground, and up. One more time. All the way up. Look forward, head neutral, release the arms. Breath in and breath out. Left arm comes behind the back. The hand just rests outside the right thigh. Right hand to the outer left thigh as we rotate to the left. Look over your left shoulder. Breath in and out. Come back to center. Place your right palm on your left palm outside your right hip. Lean your right ear to your right shoulder. Breathe in and out. Look down to the ground and up to the ceiling and down and up. One more time, looking down and looking up. Gazing, gazing forward. Neutral through the head and neck. Release through the hands. Breathe in and out. Coming out of this pose, the chest pulls forward, hands down. Press into hands to lift the hips away from the block. Tuck your toes. So your block should be pretty much between the heels. You can you can adjust it up if you want to. It's just more of an understanding that the block is there, but we don't really need it. Another inhale. And the exhale. Press your chest or your hips forward rather, and bring your hands to your lower back, thumbs out, fingers down. Keep pressing your hips forward, and maybe your hands reach for your heels and you find camel pose. Gaze is up to the ceiling. Hands can stay to the lower back, no pressure to grab the heels. Make sure you can breathe well. You should be really active here, especially through the glutes. Nothing is lazy about this pose. And take your time. Hands return to the glutes, upper body up. Untuck your toes. Start to sit your bum toward the ground as you move the block out. So you can come into child's pose. You could bring your big toes to touch. Let your forehead rest down. Breath in and out here. Excellent. So we'll continue to get into the low back hip area. Shift yourself into table. And we're coming into pigeon pose. Right knee toward right wrist. And we draw the right heel in front of the left hip. Almost think of drawing like a number 7 with your right leg. And your left leg comes down straight behind. Now, of course, if this is like a no-no for your body today, then don't do that. Instead, stack your right heel beneath your right glute and work on staying balanced here, okay? And then, of course, you can go into the supine variation laying on your back if that is better for you today. Left knee walks back, back, back. Keep your left toes tucked. Keep your upper body up. Come onto your fingertips. Think of your elbows pulling in toward your waistline as your chest floats. And then think of your tailbone dropping to the earth. Notice what that shifts in your hips. Feel the left side drop a little bit more. Feel your tail drop a little bit more. Inch your left leg back. Feel your tail drop again. Notice how open your chest feels and how much your hips can settle in here. And then take your time. Bring your elbows down to the ground. And maybe you could use a block or you could stack your hands and let your forehead rest down. Remember though to not put all your weight on the right side. You want to think of your weight being evenly distributed across the front of your hips and across the back. Notice the length you can gain within your spine, and also tune into your breathing again. Can you bring your breath into your lower back? Can you feel your tail reaching for the earth? Take your time. Come up onto your elbows and then onto your hands. We're not quite done in our pigeon pose yet. So from here, of course, you can take a break whenever you like. But from here, we're taking now our left hand and threading the needle over to the right. And you could let your left shoulder come down. You don't have to though. You could stay up. You could come up onto an elbow. See what you like better. Breath in and out of the nose. And then you could come back onto your elbows and up onto your hands. And the right hand threads over to the left. Right shoulder can come down, maybe. And take your time. Come back onto your elbows, onto your hands. Walk the hands in. Walk your back knee in. And shift to downward dog. Slide your front leg back. And give your hips a little wiggle here. Lengthen your legs. And come into table. Let's do the other side, shall we? Left knee slides to left wrist. Remember, make your choice of what variation suits you best on this side. Maybe you make that number 7 with your left leg, kind of a backward 7, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. Right toes stay down onto the mat so they're tucked, so your back leg stays nice and in line with your right hip. Your chest lifts up as you draw your fingertips onto the mat and your elbows cinch inward. Breathe in and out here. Think of your tail moving down and notice if that gives you a bit more space in the upper body. Feel the weight between the sides of the hips. Bring your right hip slightly forward, left hip slightly back. Again, drop your tailbone and take your time. You could lower the elbows down onto the ground. Maybe you can inch your right leg back a little bit more. And up to you, you could rest your head down. You could stack your hands or make fists or use your block to rest your head. Breath is in and out of the nose, enjoying this lovely massage from the inside out. Feel the right side of your hip get a little bit heavier. Nice, easy breath. Start to come up onto your forearms, your hands. You're nice and tall on the breath in. And on the breath out, thread the needle so the right hand sweeps over to the left. You could let your right shoulder maybe come down, or you could stay up on your left elbow. Just see what's the most comfortable or the most accessible. Breathe in, breathe out. And nice and easy, pressing into elbows. We come back up onto the hands. And the left arm threads over to the right. Left shoulder can come down. We hang out here. Flossing all kinds of beautiful spaces for the body today. And slowly coming back up onto forearms, then onto hands. Back knee walks in, front leg comes back, downward dog, hips up and back. Give your hips a little shake. Let your head relax. Maybe walk the dog a bit here. Walk the feet toward the hands. Your feet are underneath your hips. Your knees are bent so your belly can be on the thighs. And grab opposite elbows as you look at the space between your knees. Then look forward, flat back, inhale. Exhale, your knees are bent, belly on the thighs, your arms wrap around the backs of your legs, above your knees. And you relax your head. Now you start to sit your bum in the chair that's not there. Your arms are still squeezing around back. Release your arms. Reach the hands forward, your hips lower down, all the way to the ground. Legs lengthen out in front. Hips are neutral, and if that's not the case, you're going to have your knees bent. Neutral hips means you can sit tall without leaning back. So you can be strong in the legs, awake in the abdomen, tall in your spine. Sit bones face down. Bend your knees as much as you need. Breathe in, sit tall. Bring your arms by your sides, palms press into the mat. So we want straight arms here. They'll get there one day. If your arms feel really short, use your blocks under your hands. Full inhale. Now as we exhale, the belly pulls in. Turn your fingers to face the back of your mat and push into your fingertips to reach your chest to your toes. Look at your big toes. Make sure that the inner edges of them are touching. So all 10 toes are facing up. Breathe in. As you breathe out, press your fingertips into the mat. Draw your sternum closer to your toes and feel your belly come closer to your thighs. Continue to work the space here. Your belly is touching your legs the whole time. Your fingers might crawl closer toward you to give you more strength in pushing your chest forward, but be kind here. Further isn't always better. And option, release the hands to reach for the feet. And your knees are bent if your hips need that, so it should be accessible to touch the feet if you have correct alignment. Otherwise, you may need to bend your knees if you can't reach your feet and your legs are straight. Breathe in and out. Keep looking at the space beyond the toes. And slowly release. Come all the way up. All right. So from here, we'll just bend the knees. We'll turn to face the wall. So just scoot yourself up to the wall and bring your hips all the way in so you can lay down and send your legs up. Hanging out here, just give your hips and toes a little rock side to side. Just keep sweeping the toes side to side. And come to stillness. Make sure your neck feels long, so just scoop underneath the back of your skull. Give yourself a little traction and feel the chin gently draw to the throat. Then, with your left leg straight, bring your right ankle across your left thigh. Allow your left knee to bend to your edge, whatever that is today. But we want the hips to stay balanced on the mat. This might mean you have to move away from the wall a little bit. Do what you can. The goal here is to just see if we can relax the outer right hip. So in tiny motions, just start rocking the left knee side to side, and of course that will translate to a gentle rocking of the right leg, but not too deeply. We don't want to irritate the ligaments and tendons here, so If you've been experiencing sciatica or discomfort or pain in your lower back or your hips, just take it slow. And even if you haven't been, still take it slow, because we're not looking to aggravate the body. We're massaging from the inside out. So nice and easy. Now, if it starts to feel open for you, you can rock a little bit bigger. And you could always straighten your left leg a little more as well. So really make this practice work for you. And come all the way to stillness from wherever you were. Draw the sole of the left foot maybe onto the wall. But if it feels like too much of a stretch, then skip it. Or don't come in so far. Breathe in. Breathe out. Notice the softening of your hips. And take your time. Just inch your left leg straight and undo your right leg. Sweep the toes side to side. And come to stillness. Left ankle comes onto the right thigh. And we just bend the right knee a little bit. It doesn't have to be too bent at all. And just gentle rock side to side. Your arms can be relaxed wherever is comfortable, by the way. I have just my hands interlaced, rested on my belly, but you see what feels comfortable for you here. Just nice, easy rock side to side. Becoming aware of any little gunky areas, places where we've got some tension that might feel stuck. And we'll come to stillness. Adjusting the sole of the right foot to the wall, maybe, but maybe not. Just finding an edge of a stretch to hang out in here. And breathe. And of course, your breath is easy in and out of the nose. This is the best way to improve your breathing, is to simply focus on breathing well in all these different positions. And breathing well, we pull the breath in through the nose, all the way down, 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 toward the belly, toward the lower back. And this is because it helps to stimulate the lower regions of the lungs. And then we follow the breath come back up as we find the navel draw inward. We almost have a squeezing sensation as we let go of the breath and enjoy the moments of emptiness. And then we notice the breath welcoming itself back in. Your breathing improves naturally when your nervous system comes back online, which of course can, yes, be done through slow breathing techniques, sometimes with Kundalini yoga as well, faster breathing techniques. But the gateway, even before the breath, is the body in many ways. The body knows how to breathe. So getting to the space where we can accept that and move deeper in and use that wisdom and apply it to all these different positions and recognize the depth of our nervous system health and our ability to be aware of it. Take your time, slowly just let your right leg lengthen and release your left leg back up the wall. Sweep the toes side to side. And come to stillness. Nice and easy. Allow the soles of the feet to move toward each other as the knees open out to the sides. Soles of feet might face more toward your face as well. Just let your legs open up. Enjoy the support of the wall. See if you can lengthen your breathing here. So you can start with balanced breath for the count of 4 on the inhales and 4 on the exhales. But see if you can extend to the count of 8 as you inhale. And 8 as you exhale. Notice that sense of calm moving through your body. Letting go of all of that tension that's no longer serving. Bring your knees together. Your feet are on the wall. Moving into a supported shoulder stand. Walk your feet up the wall just enough so you can easily press feet into the wall. Lift your hips up and work on stacking the hips over the shoulders. You'll want to tuck your shoulders in a little bit closer together. You might want to bring your hands to the back of your hips or your low back. You might even be able to walk your hands up to your mid back.
And pause here. Breathe in and out of your nose, nice and slow. Think of your kneecaps reaching for the ceiling. If available, right toes can reach up, and then they can reach to the top edge of your mat. Left leg might join along with the right. Tops of feet on the mat if they can touch. No worries though, it's a big pose. Left leg lifts up, comes to the wall, right toes to the wall. Release the hands, lower your hips, nice and easy, all the way back down. Lengthen your legs up, and pause here. Fabulous. Bend your knees so you can slowly just turn over to one side and scoot yourself along your yoga mat so you can lay flat. Make sure your toes are not touching the wall. And just lay fully down, completely flat on your back. Close your eyes and scan through your body here. Notice all the new spaces of opening, of strengthening, of alignment. Notice the sense of that massage you just gave yourself from the inside out. Notice how quiet your breathing is and the stillness through the body. Enjoy a nice full breath all the way in and let it go. all the way in and out. Nice and easy. Drag your heels along your mat to bring your knees in to the chest. Draw some nice easy circles with your knees, or maybe give yourself a hug, whatever you like here. And then take your time and roll yourself up however you like into a seated position that's comfortable for you. And you could just have your hands resting on your body or in front of the heart in prayer, joining the two sides of the brain together. Notice how you feel here. Let's draw a complete breath all the way in and let it go. One more time, a nice full breath in and out. And thank you for our practice today. I hope you feel wonderfully stretched out and massaged all in the hips and the low back especially, but of course the spine, and we did get into the chest and the mind. So yeah, and of course the nervous system, that's like what happens in every single class. So yeah, let me know how it went for you in the comments, and I'll see you again in our next practice together. Much love, everyone. Bye.